Instagram Live, what's the crack? I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about this. First podcast I've done in a long, long time. So I'm gonna get Emmet, if you're there, Emmet, give me a nod and I'll get you patched in and then we'll crack on. Let me see if I can. There's a lot of more functions than I've had on my previous Instagram Lives. Hey everyone, thanks for joining in. We're going to record this one live since Emmet's based in Ireland, so he can't be in the same room as me, so this works out pretty well. So he's going to tune in now in a second. So guys, today, welcome to the first episode of my new podcast. It's called Fights Outside the Ring with me, Kez. It's inspiring stories about physical health, mental health, and mindset, and talking to a few different people that have overcome whatever they've overcome, and they're going to delve into their stories a little bit. I think I've got Emmet here. Nope, it's not him. Let's give him another minute or two. So how this podcast is going to work is there's 10 questions I'm going to be asking all of the guests. So today we'll get Emmet's take on those 10 questions. Like I said, to do with physical health, mental health, and mindset. Hey Emmet, what's the crack? If you want to request in, there we go. Emmet Brennan, go live. Yo, what's up? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear us? We can hear you now. Nice.
Yeah.
So I was just going to tell everyone, this is my first episode. There's kind of 10 questions I'm going to be asking anyone that comes on to chat. But before we do, I'd love to get a little bit of your backstory. Tell everyone who you are, what you do.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so my name's Emmet Brennan. 30 years old. I suppose I've been boxing my whole life. It's what my whole life revolves around. And so I never really had much success in boxing until I started really applying myself recently. I've gone on and won national titles in Ireland, and now I'm going to represent our country in the Olympics next month. So yeah, my whole life will be basically revolved around boxing.
That's mad. So you literally qualified for the Olympics, what, like 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I qualified 3 weeks ago.
And you're flying out like in a day or two?
So I qualified, I think it was like the end of last month, and then we're going now on Wednesday. So
that's such a quick turnaround, that.
Yeah, very quick. It's it's good and it's bad, because you just keep on rolling with training, and then on the other hand, you can't really enjoy the experience as much as if you had 3, 4, 5 months.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, there's pros and cons of that. You don't get a minute to stop and think about it, but you've got that momentum. You get to just roll into it.
Yeah, you're rolling into it. You're still fit. You just have to watch out and not overtrain, I suppose. But you're still, in terms of sharpness and fitness, you're out to be in training for the biggest competition in your life. You get a week or two off, and then now you're definitely training for the biggest competition in your life. So yeah, you're hitting the ground running.
Yeah, that's mad. Well, fair play to you, pal. I can't wait to watch it. No doubt you're gonna pick up some medals.
The biggest occasion in the world, so I'm more than ready for this.
Love it. Well, what we'll do is we'll crack on with the questions. So now people kind of know a little bit about you, where you are in your life right now. We can kind of go back over these questions now. So question 1 is, what motivates and drives you?
I suppose what motivates and drives me is success. Obviously, it's not number 1, but be up there. And then I suppose in my early to mid 20s, I wasn't living a life that I was exactly happy with. I was working a job I didn't like. I wasn't really applying myself to training. So now I'm training full time. The odd time I walk in the gym, it's something I enjoy. I'm not out on sites or anything like what I used to do. So I say what motivates me is giving me a lifestyle that makes me happy rather than settling for the lifestyle that I used to have.
Yeah,
I do anything not to go back to that situation.
yeah. It's
Mm.
kind of like when you take the safety net out of a job that pays your bills, uh, you have to bet and invest all in yourself, and then yeah, you end up thriving on that, you know.
Yeah, of course. And like I think once you get a little bit, once you get a grasp of how happy you can be doing something that you enjoy, why would you go back to something that made you unhappy? It does make sense.
Yeah,
But a lot of people do that. They stay in the safety net and they don't take the chances. Um, that will ultimately make them a lot happier and make them feel a bit more fulfilled in life.
definitely, definitely,
Mhm.
100% agree with that. Right then. So, question two: how do you self-educate? You know, that might be like taking that step into quitting a job and becoming a full-time training. Like, how do you keep your mindset sharp? How do you stay on top of your physical and mental health? Like, how do you educate yourself on that?
Yeah, so like right now, a lot of my lifestyle is about habits. So a lot of what I do, because I find this makes me happy. A lot of what I do is like small little things. So making sure I'm drinking, making sure I'm eating right, making sure I'm doing mobility. And a lot of that probably came through self-education, rather than looking at the big things that you think are going to make you successful. More than likely, it's all them little things that you do. And I suppose like in terms of like so we're up with the national team. We're up here 4 to 5 days a week, and we have so much. You have so much free time to do whatever you want, really, because you do two training sessions a day, and then you have the whole morning to yourself. You have the evening and the afternoon to yourself. So at the moment, I'm doing a precision nutrition course just to try to keep on top of things.
Yeah,
So in college, I'm studying a degree in strength and conditioning. Now I've took a small little break from that, but for the Olympics. But once that's over, I'll probably head back to that. And like you'll probably know yourself, you're never not learning, especially in boxing. Like
yeah,
you're always learning, and in terms of like self learning, you can learn so much more off everyone. In boxing, you never know enough.
nah, dead right. It's like the minute you think you know it all, like you're gone.
Definitely, like even like I know coaches in their 50s, 60s, 70s, they don't know it all. And they know they don't know it all. And they're still trying to learn, they're still trying to pick up things. And
Yeah,
they're probably the best people to be around because they realize that you can't know it all and they're always wanting to learn. They're always trying to pass that on to yourself or whatever it may be.
definitely, no, definitely. And it's kind of like everyone has like that downtime you're talking about in between your training sessions, and what you do in that downtime is what separates you from getting where you
Exactly.
want to go
So
or
like
not.
even if it might be how long does it take to read 10 pages? No, I'm not a good reader, so it might take me 20 minutes. But
Yeah,
everyone has 20 minutes in a day.
yeah. It
But
all goes into the bank, like, you know.
yeah, and it's how we use the time so we can all I know this is on Instagram, but we can all flick through Instagram, flick through Twitter. Like ultimately, like it is a bit of a waste of time when you could
Yeah,
be that time into something that's more practical and something that will help you get to where you want to be.
yeah, definitely,
There's,
definitely.
there is always enough time. People come up with their excuse in the past and still now. I come up with that excuse myself, but there's always time. It just depends what your priority is.
That's it. That's it. If it's important to you, you'll make the time.
Yeah, Kent.
Yeah, definitely. No, I like that. Great answer. All right. So question number three can be any time in your whole life. Doesn't have to be boxing related. Can be totally up to you. It's what's been your hardest experience in your whole life? And
Um,
looking back on that as well, if you had the chance to skip it or erase it, would you?
yeah. So the hardest experience in my life is after being going after this Olympic cycle. So they're going 30, so that's old in terms of amateur boxing. Most people are going pro now. And I sort of set after going after the Olympics probably about 4 years ago when I was 25, 26. So it wasn't an easy thing to do. And like my friends were going out, they were having kids, they were buying houses. I stayed at home. I stayed in my parents' house because if I went out and got my own place, I couldn't afford the box. So I suppose but I suppose the experience of the last 4 years, I wouldn't have changed it because it's made me learn so much about myself. I've realised how much other people have me back, friends, family, coaches. Um, so it's an experience that I definitely wouldn't change, but it's had to been very, very, very tough. Like people only see the tip of the iceberg. They don't see the late nights, the early mornings, the graft that has to go into getting to the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it's all about following the process. So even if I follow a process and I don't get there, at least you know you've given everything you had.
Yeah. What
Mm.
I found interesting that you told me the other day is you're on this path to the Olympics, and it's kind of like timing is everything. Like you're at the age, you're peaking with your training, then COVID happens, and that's like uncertainty of when the next Olympics will be, what way it's going to run, how you're going to be like mentally, physically. So you had to keep yourself going through COVID, and then you were telling me you kind of had a couple of injuries towards the end of it.
Yeah, so I ended up getting into it before the qualifier. So I've I didn't actually get any sparring going into the qualifiers. I had one spar like a week beforehand, but got no other sparring in the 2 3 months before that. And it's like, look, it's about adapting. Like, it's not like a pro fight where you can put it off a few months. Like, it's qualifiers. It has to go ahead. So, yeah, you go in and give her everything and leave no stone unturned.
It's class,
Because
that. Yeah,
it's only 3 3 minute rounds of fight. You can withstand the pain for that and just give her everything you got.
that's class. Because
Mm.
yeah, now it makes sense seeing your face on the picture of when you qualified. Like just like
Mm.
number one, you looked battered, but you looked more battered like mentally of like you were just delighted to be at that moment, like everything that
Yeah,
kind
look, it's a moment that you've always dreamed as from when you started boxing. Like no one, especially in Ireland, no one gets into a boxing club and doesn't want to be an Olympian. It's the dream in Ireland for most
yeah,
people anyway. And to fulfill that, yeah, I was very, very proud. Very
nice.
fulfilling moment for myself.
Yeah, good for you, pal. Really, really, congratulations on that. I remember seeing Derek Ahern's video just jumping around his living room as well. Like,
Yes, Derek's a very good friend of mine. I think you'll
yeah.
know him well. He's been to me. He's like a mentor, and he guided me down the right road.
So to touch on that, like that whole word, mentor. Sorry, I've got a question here.
Mm.
Um, do you have? You said you've got Derek. He's kind of like a mentor to you. Do you have any other mentors or coaches or in your life?
Yes,
Like, how
me too.
important are they to
Both,
you?
um,
Yeah,
Jimmy and Philip, they're both brilliant because technically they're very, very good. Mentally, they're very, very good. They've got a really good positive mindset. They're ambitious. They can never do enough work for me. So boxing wise, they take the reins and I just do what they tell me to do and I have full trust in them. And then suppose like Derek has been really, really good to me the last 2 years. He's just such a positive person. He instills belief in myself, and then on top of that, my family they would do anything to get me to the Olympics.
yeah,
They probably sacrifice as much as I have, and I suppose like getting over the line is a credit to them as it is myself.
yeah. Definitely, family win. Are they going to be in Tokyo with you?
Oh, unfortunately, they can't go because of COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah, only the last few days I've been thinking about it, and it's a bit of a killer, but like they'll be supporting me from home, and they obviously want the best from me. But yeah, it's gutting that they can't be there. But look, that's the COVID situation at the
I was
moment.
going to say you've come this far with all of the feelings of like being let down by COVID, so you'll be fine with this one. One more won't kill you, like.
Yeah, like look,
Yeah,
in the ring, it doesn't make a difference, but just the experience of the whole thing with them would have been great. It would have making everything everything worth it. But at the end of the day, I'm still an Olympian, and no one can take that away from me.
100%, yeah, 100%. My friend and employer here, like Tony, he's kind of like a mentor to me. He's like one of my best friends. He said like just qualifying for the Olympics changes your whole life. Like your life is literally about to change.
Yeah, it does. Like, look, you become a little bit more noticed and stuff like that. But that's like, it's not exactly what I'm in it for. But if I can be a positive role model to someone, that would be great, especially with the story I have behind me.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. And I think you already are. Like you already are, and you will go on as well. Like people will see more of your story because you've got that little bit of a platform now. You know.
Yeah, of course.
So right, moving on to the next question. What's the one lesson you've learned regards physical, mental, or mindset that you wish was taught to you in school, like a subject that you wish you could have learned a lot sooner?
Believing in yourself and backing yourself.
Yeah.
So in school, we never really taught that. We were taught 6 or 7 subjects for the leaving cert, and that's it. Go away with the rest of your life. Go off to college. You're not learning that in college either. But
Yeah.
a lot more will come from your life if you're backing yourself than if you're not.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
something like that before. Like, if I can choose to feel unbelievable in myself, why wouldn't I choose that? Like, you have 2 ways that you can either back yourself or not. The likelihood is if you're not backing yourself, you're not going to get to where you want to be. If you are backing yourself, you're going to give yourself a better chance, aren't you?
It's crazy how simple that sounds. Like usually the first thing we do as adults is like, nah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be the person that did that. Like,
Yeah, is it called like imposter syndrome or something like that?
yeah, but yeah, when you're a kid, you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a spaceman. Like, no doubt.
Yeah, I think that's human nature as well, is it?
Yeah, I think the older we get, people are kind of, the older you get, you kind of see how, the mental side works. But when people are jealous of something, they'll put that down. Like if I'm jealous of you and going to the Olympics, I want to do that. I'm jealous. So I'm going to be like, oh yeah, it's just the Olympics. Oh yeah, but you only qualified because of this reason. So
Yeah.
I'm putting you down and you're taking that in. And
Again, you don't see the whole picture. So just because I'm going to the Olympics doesn't mean I'm going to be happy. Like, there's a bigger picture there. And as humans, we just see, like, if someone becomes world champion, we just see that he could be having, or that person's marriage could be falling behind his back. He doesn't know. So you're only looking at one thing, you're not looking at the whole picture. And again, that's probably human nature.
I think human nature for sure, yeah. So how do you get yourself? What practices do you have to like get yourself out of like a rut, whether that be physical, like I don't want to train, or like mentally, like, oh, am I good enough? What do you do to kind of boost yourself?
Yeah, so again, like, I go back to just the small little habits that I do every day. So I've noticed once or twice over COVID that I found myself like staying in bed a little bit later. One or 2 days I was a bit unhappy, nothing out of the ordinary, just wasn't feeling myself. And I just went back to basics. Like, so I have a bedtime, I have a wake up time. I just went back to that, getting up early, doing my mobility in the morning, making sure I'm having a good breakfast, go out and get some fresh air. Like, these are all really small things that people don't do. Like, how many people stay up on Netflix all night when they could be going to sleep at 11? How many people get out of bed at 7 and go on a walk on the weekend? Not a lot. A lot of them stay in bed and they sleep for a few hours and they're wondering why they're groggy. So I just try to go back to routine, and that's what works for me.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that myself. And COVID was hard because it kind of put everyone on that summer holiday feeling.
Exactly.
And then that all of a sudden that creeps in. You don't even realize the habit of stay up late, watch TV that's just mindless. That's okay doing that once in a blue moon when you need that break, but all of a sudden you get caught in a spiral of like unproductive and not moving. It's a game changer when you get up, start your day on a positive note.
Exactly. And look, as you said, there's not, like, no one's going to judge you if you're looking at Netflix once or twice a week late. But like, when it starts to become a habit and it's starting to make you unproductive, then you might have to have a look at changing that. But like, it's not, no one's judging someone for having 1 or 2 nights on Netflix. It's just, again, when it becomes a habit and it's actually affecting your life or your lifestyle, yeah, I'd definitely say try and knock around the head.
Back to basics. I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, it works. Like, you, no matter what it is, like, you bring someone into the gym, you're gonna work at basics straight away. You learn someone to box, you work on basics straight away, and then people sort of forget it as they go on.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
It's mad how you know, the basics, they're boring. You know, they don't look cool on Instagram videos,
But they are book.
they make the difference. Like, they really do.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with critics, and more so like the self-doubt, the self-critic?
For myself, it doesn't bother me because I'm sure of who I am as a person. As I said, I'm 30 now. Like, if this was maybe 7, 8 years ago, I probably would have reacted. Look, I don't have any critics. But if I did, I probably would have reacted to it in a different way. But right now, I have the people behind me that mean something to me, and that's all that really matters to myself. So that's with critics. And then with self-critics, as I said, we all have that. We all have a self-critic in us. We all think we're not doing good enough. It's, again, that's human nature. We don't really, and we tend not to give ourselves credit when we do something really good. So I qualified for the Olympics, and it took me only till this week to actually give myself a bit of credit and realise what I'd done.
I think that's an Irish thing as well. Like, you're not.
That's what I said to people. That this is an
Yeah.
Irish. So I got out of the ring, and straight away I'm just thinking, right, I want an Olympic medal. Instead of actually sitting back and thinking, geez, you just qualified for the Olympics.
Yeah.
The event in the world with the most elite sport people in the world. Give yourself some credit for that. And again, that's an Irish thing. I think it's just what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And I think it's good to have a party inside. Like, if I do something that I've been trying to do right now, if I stop and enjoy it too much, it's like, no, like, keep that momentum going.
Yeah. So
or if I'm hard on myself, it's like, keep myself accountable. But at the same time, you got to stop at these milestones, stop and be like just to enjoy that minute. Like, because everyone's thinking, get to the top of the mountaintop, but the journey is what you'll enjoy more than what's at the top of the mountaintop. It's kind of finding a balance of that, I think. Yeah,
so I've talked to a friend last week, and he said, yeah, you have a goal, but it's rolling goals. So you don't have, it's not an end goal. If there's an end goal, then you finish that, and you'll probably get stuck in a rut. But it's a rolling goal. So you complete one, then you're like, what's next? You complete that, what's next? And that's how you end up being successful at life. You don't be happy with what you have. You always want that a little bit better.
Definitely, yeah. 100%. Right, just to kind of show people that you're human as well. What's the most embarrassing thing you've done lately? I always like to throw in a fun question. What's the most embarrassing thing you've done lately?
I've done. I've probably done a lot in my early 20s. I won't go into it, but yeah, I won't go into what I've done, but I've, like, in my early 20s, as I said, like, I've completely changed my lifestyle. So early 20s, I would drink an awful lot. Yeah, I would have drinking, like, I'd go to work, then I'd drink Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, probably at Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Get your head right for Monday, and then do the same thing the week after. So I was living a terrible, terrible life. And yeah, like, I don't know. I can't go into that.
Now you got to keep your branding clean now.
Yeah. Clean. But look, at one stage I partied a lot, and I suppose a lot of the young people probably did, but that lifestyle gets you absolutely nowhere in life.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so 2 questions left for you. What's the best piece of advice you ever got?
Best piece of advice? I can't think of one piece of advice in particular, but I can think of my boxing coach Jimmy Halbin. That's not even advice. It's just that the backing he gives me and the belief he gives in his boxers is unbelievable. Like, I've never met a man that doesn't believe in his fighters as much as he does. Like, he'd back me to the hilt, and like, no matter who I'm in with, he would always have belief that I'd get through it. He's
Yeah,
to me, he's just been incredible.
that's class. Yeah,
Yeah, like again, there's nothing that sticks out on what he said, but it's just the belief that I know that he has in me, and that installs confidence in me. It's like he's definitely not unsure of my abilities. He's sure that I'm gonna go into big things and I'm gonna go on and do big things. And he was so confident that I was gonna be an Olympian.
that's cool. Yeah. But I think the fact that he can, like you said, it's not what he says, it's what he's
Mm.
done. The fact that he can, just his actions, put that much trust and confidence in you is more impressive than someone being like, here's a great quote for you, like, follow your dreams, something stupid. Like, it's more impressive that just him showing up consistently, giving you that confidence, you trusting that when he,
Mm.
says a certain thing, like, he's not just kind of bullshitting you, like,
Yeah, and you can sort of get that by someone's body language or how they go about themselves. And yeah, he's like, in fairness to Jimmy, he's real. Like if you're not bleeding, you're not on form, or you're a bit down, like you'll have no problem in telling you. Like
yeah,
if things aren't going the way he knows you can box, or he knows the way you can train, you'd you'd have no problem in telling you or pulling it on it. So when you're getting that praise off him, or when you're getting that belief, it's real.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Um, so then, what kind of advice or guidance would you give to someone on the road you're on? Like maybe, let's say, just starting out at an amateur club, or 15, 16, thinking about the Olympics, or 24, 25 on the road to actually trying to qualify.
Um, I'd say definitely keep your ears open. So although we talked about Jimmy there, try to get as much advice as you can off as many people as you can in the game and that know the game. So we were talking there about always learning. You can always get a little bit of something off someone that knows what they're talking about. So yeah, be flexible and be adaptable to learning. And then when it comes to lifestyle, you can't cut corners. It can't happen. If you want to fulfill your goals, you have to go after them 100%. If you're taking shortcuts, the likelihood is you're not going to get there. So what I do is I follow the process. So by following the processes, I give myself to the process. I eat right, I drink right, I sleep right, I train right, I do the correct warm up, I try to do a correct cool down. So I try to do everything to the best of my ability. And then when I get into the ring, the result is already taken care of itself. And if you get beaten, you've given it everything and you have no regrets. There's nothing
Yeah,
more. And you've probably heard it loads of times. Someone gets out and they're not fit and they're blaming their condition. Like, why would you get into a ring in the first place if you're not in condition?
yeah, yeah.
And like, to me, that's just, yeah, basically.
I think I've
I think I've
lost your
lost your
audio.
audio.
Can you hear me
Hear me
now?
now?
Lost you
Lost you
for.
for a second. Can't hear you. We'll get him back.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now?
We'll see.
We'll see. Right here.
Trying to fix that echo, Gary. I'm gonna see if I can get Emmet back in. Let me send him an invite. Yo, can you hear us? Can't hear you. See if we can figure this.
Yeah, I'm back there, am I?
You're back.
I'm back.
We only missed you were talking about it was good and then it just cut. That why would you put yourself in the ring, you know, if you haven't turned every stone sort of thing?
Yeah, so I've done this myself in the past. It's like you're getting into a ring and you haven't prepared yourself correctly to get into a ring. And at the end of the day, you're taking punches in the face. So you shouldn't be getting in there not primed or not in the right condition to fight, especially if it's a big competition. And I've done it in the past. Like I've boxed in the elites when I was 20 and 21, and I've been on the drink the week before. But yeah, so don't have any excuses with yourself when you go out, because nobody likes to hear them. Like, I've been there myself, and yeah, it's not the right way to go about things.
Nah, I like that. It's kind of like take care of all those little habits. Like you said, do all of that, and the fight is, you've won the fight getting into the ring, and if you lose the fight, well then the other guy's a better fighter, and you know that you couldn't have done anything different.
Yeah, maybe things didn't go right on the night, but like, how many times have you heard a fighter getting beaten and blame this training camp or blame this condition? Like, yeah. You're blue in the face listening to that. No one wants to hear excuses. If someone beats you on the night, fair enough, but if you're putting it down to condition, that's on yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to live with that.
Yeah, yeah. What do you make of last time Fury and Wilder fought and he was blaming his entrance suit?
Yeah, that's just, again, that's maybe a little bit weak mentally.
Yeah.
We looked at him in the press conference there a few weeks ago. I don't think he's right mentally. Maybe the two defeats, like, he was up on a pedestal. Two defeats is obviously seriously kicked his ego.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're childish, aren't they? Just man up and say you are beaten. Like, there's no...
Yeah, there's more respect when you're like...
Yeah, and there's no bad about losing. Like, one person has to win, one person has to lose.
That's the thing, yeah. And that's in every fight you're going to see that. It's not like you're the only one that's ever lost. It's take it on the chin, take it humbly, come back and, you know...
Go back and train and try better yourself and then come back. But don't come up with excuses, and especially excuses that he came up with. They were terrible.
They were terrible. Well, I'll let you go. I know you've got a million things and you're flying out this week.
Off on Wednesday, so I'm just trying to get things sorted. I'm stressed.
Yeah. Appreciate you taking the time for us.
What is it?
I appreciate you taking the time out for us.
No problem at all.
Yeah. Is there a place where we can kind of watch? I know you probably don't know your schedule yet, but is there a place where people can follow you and kind of watch your fights going on? Yeah,
in the Olympics. So if you're from Ireland, I think they're going to be shown on RTE. Yeah, and then if not, the qualifiers are on the Olympics channel on YouTube or on their website, and I'd say it's going to be the exact same for the Olympics. Cool, yeah, nice. I'll post them on my read as well. Anyone that's in America, listen. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. I'm buzzing. Like, it's like, I just like fighting, so the elites, it doesn't matter if it's the lenses or the Olympics. I just like fighting. Yeah, that's cool. It's your true passion. That's really cool. Right. Well, I'll let you go, Emmet. Thank you so much. Thanks very much. See you later.